System initiated.
His brother Michael is also satisfied.
Welcome to Afrogenesis, Artificial Intelligence.
What if just by thinking, your hand started working on its own? Without having to press any switch, without having to give any command? You thought, and that's what your hand did. Isn't this a scene from a science fiction movie? Now?
Wrist pronation.
System initiated.
Sitting in the corner of a real house, they started their research by assembling old electronics parts. How did they create a completely realistic robotic hand from a simple pen and paper design? And how did their discovery even amaze American engineers? And now America is desperately looking for them? This is a chapter that can change the lives of millions of people around the world. Today we will know how these two young inventors overcame their limitations and invented a groundbreaking technology.
Robotic arm system under self-testing. Articulations levels, protocol sequences activated.
Both David and Moses grew up in a small town in Kenya. They had a love for technology since childhood, but poverty made their life difficult.
My name is David Jerry. I am an innovator, a maker.
My name is Moses Kinanjaroge. Since my childhood, I've been curious and passionate innovator.
Since my childhood, they had to leave their studies midway to run the family, but their dream did not stop. Together, the two decided that they would do something that would change people's lives. Their journey began by starting an organization called Afrogenesis. It is not a billion-dollar company, but it is a small. They spent day after day and night after night working on new ideas. There was no modern lab or advanced technology, but their greatest asset was their tireless work and faith in each other. At first, they made small electronic devices to benefit the local people there, but then they noticed a huge problem: creating a low-cost, effective prosthetic hand for the disabled. This is where the biggest challenge of their lives began. Creating a robotic hand that would work according to the user's brain signals. Where ordinary prosthetic hands use muscle signals, they wanted to create something that would be controlled directly by human thought. But is it possible? Did they have the necessary knowledge or materials before creating such a big technology? Actually, dreaming of an invention is one thing, but turning it into reality is a completely different thing. David and Moses aimed to create a prosthetic hand that would work through human thought, but the question was how ordinary prosthetic hands or prosthetic limbs work based on muscle signals. David and Moses took a completely different approach. They created a neural note biopotential headset that is worn on the user's head and can capture brainwaves. When a person wants to grab an object, their brain sends that signal. This special headset receives that signal and then converts that signal into electrical waves and sends it to the robotic hand, and the hand moves accordingly. The most amazing part of this invention is that it works not only with mental gestures but also with voice commands. That is, if someone cannot think of moving their hand, they can just say it and the hand will work. This is especially useful for those whose brain signals are working properly, but most of them have become weak. David and Moses spent days in their workshop researching, testing, failing, and trying again. Their first prototype was not working properly. The signal coming from the brain was not strong enough, so they added advanced sensors to make it more sensitive. Then they used a special radio frequency transmitter that could send the signals stronger and send them to the robotic hand. This is not just an alternative to traditional prosthetic hands, but also its much more advanced. Ordinary artificial hands are expensive and require a lot of complex training. But this hand is easy to use and relatively cheap. But innovation is not easy. If you want to make something new, you have to make friends with failure the most. And David and Moses' life is like a chapter of failure and struggle. Lack of money, lack of necessary equipment, lack of opportunities for research. There was no end to these challenges in their lives. Their biggest problem was where to start. They had no lab or expensive equipment, so they decided to collect the necessary parts from the city's garbage dump. Day after day, they searched through piles of electronic waste and collected old computer circuits, broken motors, and used batteries. From these, they made their first prototype. After each failure, they would find the cause of the problem, find new solutions, and create more advanced models. Not only this robotic hand, but they have done many other innovative things. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they created a disinfection device that can automatically disinfect any object. In addition, they have also created an air purifier. They created a device that could destroy airborne viruses, but the biggest challenge was the lack of money. To make new discoveries, you need a lot of money for research, but they didn't have that opportunity. So, to further improve their own inventions, they needed the support of investors, but unfortunately, no big company came forward to help them. Now the question is, what is the future of their invention? Can it really change the lives of people around the world? And what are their plans for the future? In fact, David and Moses' journey is not over yet. Rather, it is just the beginning. Their dream is not just to make a robotic hand, but to make it affordable, effective, and accessible. Currently, advanced artificial hands cost thousands of dollars, which is not possible for poor people to buy. But their goal is to create a hand at a low cost that can be delivered to every corner of the world, including Africa. According to their plan, they want to improve their robotic hand further in the future. First, they are working on making it lighter and stronger. Second, they want to create a system where this artificial hand can be directly connected to a smartphone app via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, so that the user can more easily take control of the hand and change settings. To be honest, the story of their struggle teaches us a big lesson. You never need a big degree for success. You need a big dream and the ability to work hard.